Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about nail salons, okay? They are so expensive nowadays, like crazy expensive if you're in the US. And sometimes you go in asking them for like a specific design and they tell you that they can't do it, or like they don't have skills, like whatever nail tech you get doesn't have the specific skills. I don't know, but that's literally happened to me before, where I asked them for a design, they said they couldn't do it, so they gave me some bullcrap, like simpler design, and they always somehow drill so hard into your nail that I literally end up coming out like a skinwalker because they hurt so much, because they file down so much on your nail and they're hitting my nail bed. And also, we don't know if half the time they're low-key sterilizing those things properly. So I have made it my ultimate goal as a visual learner and extreme psychopathic researcher to do my own nails. And girl, it's been a journey. I started off attempting to do acrylics when I was like 12. Yeah. And I actually did acrylics for a really long time, but acrylics are really, really bad for your nails. And then a beautiful technique came out called GelX, and it's the most beautiful thing in the entire universe. I have literally been buying supplies, doing my research, like learning how to professionally do my nails for like the past, since I was 12. How many years is that? I don't even know. I'm that old. So I actually wanted to document the process for you, because every single time that I do my own nails and I show people, or like I post it on my story or show like my friends, are like,
oh my god, how did you do that?
Like, how did you do that yourself? You know, because doing your own nails is really hard, especially when you're doing your dominant hand with your non-dominant hand. So I wanted to just show you guys how to do it. It takes a lot of practice to get it right, because trust me, I have done some ugly nails on myself. Without further ado, I want to show you how I did my Punta Cana nails, which are the nails that I am wearing right now. So let's get going. And as always, timestamps will be in the video and in the description. Also, disclaimer, I am not a professional nail tech, so take my advice with a grain of salt. Let's go. Alright, so first up, I had a set on before this, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it off with this remover oil thing. It doesn't really work as well as I think the Jello 1 kill remover would do, but it does its job after a little while, so we're just gonna take off our set with those. I was really happy as well with the set that I had on previously, so I was kind of sad to let them go. So these are the nails that I'm going to be recreating for today. They're very summery, very colorful vibes. When a design requires me to have so many colors, I usually like to go down on a little piece of paper and go to my swatches and just jot down exactly what colors I'm going to use and color match them as closely as I can to the photo on my phone. For my main nail prep, I like to go in with the Blue Cross Cuticle Remover Liquid, and I just put it around my cuticles, and I go in with this little tool to just kind of get all that excess gunk that I have on my nails off. It could be like residue from the set I just took off, or any dirt, gunk. And I like to go in with this cuticle pusher, and I just very carefully push back my cuticles. The cuticles are a very sensitive area, so you do have to be kind of careful when it comes to that. And this is where we get started with the drill. I like to take my drill with this type of tip. As you can see, it's like rounded, but it has a thin edge. And I go in around my cuticles just to make sure that I lift up that dead skin and get it ready for cutting. Brushing the excess off and going into the other hand. And then I like to get my cuticle cutter and I go around and I very carefully cut the cuticles. I've only ever cut myself while cutting the dead skin around my cuticles, like very few times. So you'll know you're doing it right if you see no blood coming out from your cuticles. And then I'm gonna go in with my drill again, but this time with a little ball point. And we're gonna go in and go around my cuticles. That's also gonna help get rid of all the dead skin. Like as you can see, the dead skin is popping off. And I like to keep a spray bottle with alcohol handy next to me in order to disinfect or clean off my hands, as you can see here after I'm done with my cuticles, and you can see how beautiful and perfect and smooth they look. And then I'm grabbing this other tip and just kind of going very softly and delicately over my fingers. I definitely do not want to overfile my nails. I just want to get them buffed enough and ready to go to put on the extensions. So the extensions that I'm going to be using today are the GelX nail tips in stiletto medium. They're a pretty good size and relatively easy to work with. So I am just measuring out each individual nail for its size. So these boxes usually come in with a lot of sizes and it helps you pick out the size per nail. We're going to grab each nail tip. If they don't come pre-etched, and even if they do come pre-etched, I always file the inside of it a little bit with the nail drill before I glue them on, just to ensure that they're glued on good. And to get my nails ready for the application, I'm going to go in with the Model 1's Nail Prep Dehydrator on my nails. Just get them dehydrated and fully ready to go. We do not want any moisture trapped around the nails when you're gluing the nails on, because that's what causes fungal infections. Next, we're gonna go in with the Model 1's nail primer. This is like an acid-free nail primer that's really good for your nails in order to get them also prepped for the nail glue and to prevent fungal infections. And because it leaves a kind of sticky residue once it's dry, I like to go in with a nail remover that's not 100% acetone and go very, very slightly over my nails with it. Now, in order for the glue to not absolutely destroy my nails, I like to go in with a peel-off base gel before anything. So I'm gonna go in with the Beetles one, and I'm gonna do 60 seconds on the lamp. And once I'm done, there is also a sticky residue on top once it's fully cured. So again, I like to go in with the little lint-free wipe, a little bit of like not 100% acetone, just like nail polish remover, and get that sticky residue off. And now we're gonna go in with the Beetles nail glue for nail tips. Ever so slightly, we're gonna grab each nail tip, and I only put in a little bit of nail glue. If you do too much, there will be nail glue sticking out of the extension and it'll look really ugly. So we want to not do that, so I try to use as little as possible, just enough to cover the nail. As you can see, I have a little mini lamp here, and what I do is I just go in, press it from the back to the front of the nail, and then I go under the lamp while still pressing down with my other finger to ensure that it goes down and it glues really, really good. So once I have all of those on, I like to go in here with my little nail clippers, my jumbo nail clippers. And a little trick that was taught to me by nail techs was, if you get these little magnets, you can actually put them on the back of the nail clippers and get the exact same size clip on every single nail to make sure that all your nails are exactly the same size. And next, since I cut them and these are very like stiletto nails, I'm gonna shape them down with just a nail file. This is a kind of long and tedious process, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Now we're gonna go in with that same nail tip that we used in the beginning, that, you know, one that was rounded but spiky at the front, and we're gonna go around the nails, kind of thinning down the plastic on the edge of your nails in order for them to look more natural. And then, in order for them to seamlessly blend into your nails, a really great hack is to get 100% pure acetone. As you can see here, it's like clear, and dip a brush in it and then go around the edge of your nail. What this does is it'll melt the plastic, so it'll actually like seamlessly blend into your nail, and it'll look like your natural nails instead of you having a press-on nail on top. Before I color my nails, I like to buff the shiny plastic coating off of the nails, because if you directly apply gel polish onto your glossy nails, it'll most likely peel off. So in order to prevent that, you know, I just buff out the nails. And then I'm gonna go in with the Beetles foundation base gel over that just to get started. And then again, this is one of those that has the sticky residue. Once you dry them, practically any base coat that you buy will have that sticky residue, so you just want to get rid of it by using that nail polish remover. And now we're gonna go in with a jelly pinkish nude. So when you're doing gel polish, you do want to go in relatively thin coats. You definitely, even though it is gel and it does cure under a lamp, there could be the possibility that if you paint your nails on too thick, that the gel won't cure from the inside. It'll be cured from the outside, but it won't cure on the inside, and then you'll have like pockets of gel that might pop at any given moment, and we do not want that. With the jelly, I think I did about 2 coats. That's usually the coats that you do in order to get it to still look like that. It basically just makes it look like your natural nail. And next, for each middle finger nail, I'm gonna use this little blue color. And in order to seal that basic foundation layer of all my nails, I'm gonna already go in with the Beetles Top Coat Top Gel. We're gonna get started with a linear gradient. So I actually have this little tool that can grab on to these little tiny sponges that I have here, and I can just lay down my colors on a little nail plate and just kind of dab, 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 and just kind of get it and then dab it on my nails. And for these types of gradients, because gel polish isn't like extremely opaque on the first go, especially when you're doing like a gradient with a sponge, you're gonna be wanting to cure it a lot. That's why those mini LED lamps are really great. Now this set has a lot of different styles of French tips, so I'm just gonna put some white nail polish on my little nail plate and then grab a very, very thin brush, thin detail brush, and we're gonna go on there. And I usually like to mark off where I'm gonna be ending the French tip at the bottom tip, and then from there I will go into the edges of the nail and try to get it like very evenly and very perfectly. So for this one, the French tip was like very low on the nail, so it was pretty easy. And as you can see, I'm curing it so I can make sure that it's like really opaque. And there was a couple French tips that were not exactly 100% white. They were mixed in with a little bit of yellow. So I went ahead and did that. And then the pinky actually had a very interesting tip where it was just a straight line across. So this one was just like actually super simple. It was just literally a straight line across. I just followed where my natural nail met. For these next 2 French tips, it was like a regular French tip again. I'm just gonna draw in where I want the French tip to end, and then I'm gonna dial in and start going to the sides. Again, these things are just the type of things that take a lot of practice when you're starting off. So I'm going to show you guys another technique called blooming. So I'm going to take my Beetles blooming gel, and then I'm going to put the pink color on my nail plate, and then the colors that I'm going to bloom basically. And I'm going to apply my blooming gel on the nail, and with a brush, I'm gonna take the color from the nail plate and I'm gonna dab a little dot into the center of the nail. And if you wait a couple of seconds, it will slowly expand, and that's what causes that bloom gradient that you see on a lot of nails. And the same thing for this nail, I'm gonna do it with the green. So you can see here, I'm also doing a line detail brush on that pinky, just trying to follow the reference as closely as possible. And this nail had little dots in them, so I took a very little tiny little detail brush and I made dots with them. I have dotting tools, but I honestly think it looks more like imperfect and natural if I just do it with a really tiny brush. Next, we're going to be sculpting the starfish. So I'm going to take my solid building gel in the color white, and I'm going to be buffing out the nail first so I make sure that that solid gel sticks to my nail. And I'm going to be grabbing pieces of the gel and slowly building out each arm of the star and making sure that it looks very natural. And I have this little rubber tool here that's super, super useful when it comes to sculpting like hard gel things. And very slowly, little by little, we're going to be building out each little piece. And thankfully, you know, since this is hard gel, I could just cure it right after and it's like perfect, good to go. I buff it and then I start going in with nail polish, and I am gonna layer that on top because the starfish is already the white color. All I have to do is just layer on a little bit. And we are gonna also be doing a gradient on this, like a little brown gradient to make it look as realistic as possible. And I'm gonna go in again with my little dotting brush and just doing very, very tiny little dots. And the dots also kind of turned out into a gradient. They got, you know, there were less and less dots as we went out throughout the star. And now this technique is like relatively difficult. You're gonna take some rhinestone gel or like very thick builder gel, and you're gonna get it on a thin brush and you're gonna dab a little bit onto your finger and then drag it across, and then that's how we're gonna make both the index finger and the ring finger have that 3D gel effect, where the index finger looks like a seashell and the ring finger just kind of has this like solar gel on it. And on top of the index finger, I wanted to go in with this like iridescent top coat thing. Now for my left thumb, I want to go in with this little heart bead charm, and I'm just going to do that by taking my rhinestone gel and lobbing on. And now we're going to line out that green to blue gradient nail, and for this one you just take a liner, thin liner brush, and then you go all around the nail. This one's pretty difficult, especially if you didn't do a clean job around the cuticle. It could be difficult because the white just kind of creeps into any crease that it finds. This one was just pretty simple. You get your liner brush with some black in it and you just do some lines. And for this flower, I'm kind of going in with my little detail brush again and making sure to get all the little details of the stem and the little like pollen things. And again, I'm going to go in with that rhinestone gel, and in order to get that teardrop, that rain effect, we're going to take that same rhinestone gel builder gel and we're going to go in with the liner brush, but instead of dragging it across the nail, now we're going to let it sit on the nail and then do circular motions around it to make sure it forms into a ball. And make sure to immediately cure after each little ball that you do or each little line that you do. And now for my other thumb, we're going to go in with another charm. And then I'm going to put a top coat on each one of the nails to seal everything off. So the last touch for these nails is some cuticle oil. Because we dehydrated our nails, we put our nails through so many processes, we're gonna go ahead and rehydrate them by putting on some cuticle oil. And we're done! I hope that you enjoyed those nails because, oh my god, I'm so happy with the end result. Like, I can't stop staring at them, especially this hand. I think I'm really proud of both hands, but I think especially this hand because it's so colorful and it's so like chef's kiss, you know? Again, take my advice and my tutorial with a grain of salt. I'm not licensed. and I don't want to get sued. Guys, this was like over 3 hours of footage. Like, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or suggestions, please make sure to leave them in the comments or DM me on Instagram. All that schnaz. I am always happy to hear you guys' feedback and Rex. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. I see you. You're glancing at it. You want to hit it. You want to... And don't forget to like this video too. And comment down below anything you want to see next from me. And as always, I love you guys so much and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.